What's up, YouTube? It's me, Todd, and hey, Cam's back. He's back on day crew. Finally get back to the cars. So today we're going to be doing fuel system, well, all this weekend probably. I've got the assembly out of the car, which the guy that was helping me with another car ripped the fuel sending unit off, so I gotta get a new one for that. We're gonna have to modify this hat. I've got a whole bunch of fittings. I've got the stock LS1 fuel rail. We're gonna clean all that out. I've got the adapter here to go to the fuel rail. Some fittings here. Then my 1940cc injectors that we're gonna be putting all the E85. And here we go. Holy Grail, the Walbro 525. So I'm gonna get the basket modified over here, show you guys how to drop this in. Hopefully I succeed and don't mess this up. My eBay regulator. Got a whole assortment of fittings. Some of this is left over from another build. I got my 6AN PTFE tubing for the E85. And come on over to the car. Show you the sloppy mechanics way on how to get old fuel out of the gas tank. So what we have here is a Walbro 255. Inlet just goes right into the gas tank, and the outlet is going over into my E85 barrel. So got it all wired up, so all I have to do is and into the tank it goes. Alright, these rings right here, they're a little tricky. And yes, there's one on the passenger and the driver's side. The main pump's on that side. But what you're wanting to do is put the blade on like this down here and get a hammer and tap it out just like that. Alright, so we got some chaos here. So we have the old pump that goes up like that. But the new pump will, so it's supposed to be just halfway into that ring. The new pump, the 525, just stops right there at that lip, but needs to come up about that much. So we're going to bypass this port in the regulator completely. I'm going to cut off this piece and see where it ends up. Little cut back. Alright, so to get the housing apart, we've got it all figured out now. That's why it's all apart. So you take this little tab here, you lift it up, pull that out. This little tab here, up. It'll come out. You're going to have to cut the lines there. I've already done that. And to get this housing out, there are some tabs here. So you can see how those go down. So you're going to want to hit the release tab there and the release tab there, and the whole housing should come apart. Now usually this is together, but I've cut it apart. And this is locked on the bottom, also the same thing for the piece I cut off, but there's a couple lock tabs here. So there, there, and there. That's gonna pull the old fuel pump out. That's gonna be locked in the bottom. So that's that. Inside of this canister here, where the fuel pressure regulator was, that's actually a filter. And it was pretty freaking disgusting in there. But I couldn't get the Walbro to fit. I cut the bottom tab off that locked into, trying to get the Walbro all the way up. It wouldn't go. So I ended up cutting the housing pretty much dead in half. My cuts aren't exact, don't judge me. So now we have the Walbro 525 that can go all the way up to the top pretty much now. And there's a little O-ring we need to put at the top. But now with that, and we still have to put the new sock on the bottom. So flat side here, flat side there. Put it in there. And we can push it down. So that's locked into place. And I still have room at the bottom to put the stock on. So we can get this spliced in to the factory wiring at the top side. So we have the old, let's see, that's that one. Where did the wire go? There it is. So we have the fuel pump wire here. So we can cut this off right here, this pigtail. Cut it. Put on the new connector that'll clip straight into this one for the Walbro. And on the top side, we can cut those wires and splice them into a bigger, like a 12 gauge for all the current this is going to draw, and that's going to hold 700 on E85 Hellcat pump. All right, let's put it all back together. All right, so we got the 525 here. Got to put this O-ring on. Probably don't have to, but I'm going to want a little bit of cushion up there. And we got the filter bottom. There's a peg in that. So you're going to put that on there and push it on like so. There she is. She's on all the way. That keeps it from crushing down too far so it can't not get any fuel. I'm going to put the connector up through there. So the O-ring's up at top. Now, I've cleaned out the basket and everything. So we got our flat side here and our flat side there. We're going to rotate the pump. That way my filter's sitting roughly like that on the inside. We can get that drop down in there. So you can see the filter, how it's going to be. And I'm holding the pump up all the way as I'm doing that. There we go. There we go. Filter's in the bottom. And it shouldn't be clogging that port right there. Let me make sure. Nope, nope, it's nice and free in there. That's not plugged, it's not blocked. Pump is secure for the most part. It's got a little bit of play, not much. And then, get the spring. Oh no, that's the wrong one. Ha. That's why they call me retard. Was retard politically correct? Yes, that is my nickname. This way, there we go. So when that goes down in there, the spring will sit just like that. So we'll get the wiring done like I just showed you. And then we just have to loop over the fuel right there. So we'll loop it over from that point over to there. And I'll tap this hole and put a, I'm thinking about this right here, the 6AN. So I'll get that tapped and go right in there. I have an O-ring on it, so it'll seal up. Then I can put a 90 on it, just like that for the return line. and either an adapter for that, or I should just be able to stick a fuel line onto there that goes to a barb style like this, but it'd be male on one side, so it'd be male male instead of female male, so I can go straight into the fuel line. So with those modifications right there, we'll have a 525 in tank for the RX8. So I've got my tap out. I believe this is a 1/4 inch NPT. So I drilled the hole first, and now I'm just slowly tapping it. Where'd it go? Where'd I have it? Oh, it needs to be a little bit bigger, so I need to run it all the way through. All that cotton plastic. It's like right there. There we go. You see right there? Ooh. Crush it too much on the O-ring. There we go. A little bit of squish on the O-ring. There we go. There is return port. Then we can take bam. Feed, return. Done. Now we're going to take the fuel rail, take the injectors off, and clean the rail. Take the clip off this way, just like that. And it should, a little bit of twisting and pressure, pop out. These have been sitting for a while though. Ooh! Sometimes that happens. Ooh, that smells horrible. And the O-ring stuck in there. There we go. Get the O-ring out, and there's probably a whole bunch of nasty fuel in there. So we're just gonna do that. Get all these clips off of here. It's the McStruggle bus. In case anybody wants a part number of fuel rail, because that's probably going to go away when I clean it. You see it? Mm-hmm. Let's clean it up. If anybody wants some good takeoffs, I got some good injectors here. They're only 20 years old. I mean, they should be fine. It was running when I got it, I promise.
Not due to fuel issues.
Alright, now to put the O-rings in, you want to lube it up a little bit of oil. Then you just work it in, just like so. Take a retainer, just like we did on the other ones. And boom, injector on. So we'll put all the 2000cc injectors on and come right back. There we go. 600 to 800 horsepower fuel row. Ready to go on. Bam. Just like that. Hey, Vato, what are we doing to the car next, Holmes?
I don't know.
You don't know?
No.
We need to take those old gas lines off. Right there and all the way back to the gas tank so we can run the new lines. That's what we need to do.
E.
Hey. Alright, there we go. Have to be underneath to get those. So get these lines off right here. It's the feed and the return. Go ahead and pull those off of those, and we can put the brake lines back up there. Probably get them bent up over here for the time being, so we got room for the motor. Is this how they felt in Star Wars? Riding those fucking dune buggies and shit. Stuff's so old and brittle, it just snaps every time. Sorry, Cam. I kicked you. My bad. Oh, boy. There we go. Brake lines are left, and there's the gas lines. Free. At last. Too bad we can't just take them out without dropping the tank.
Drop the tank?
Yeah, I'm not dropping the tank.
No thanks.
Nope. Unless they can come out after I pop these clips off. That was fun. We're free from the brake lines now, but I don't think they're gonna come down. We'll check on the top side though. Trying to think of what we can do with that. Try to get this thing up there as tight as I can. Alright, so got the PTFE lines. Got that taken apart. Take the tape off of here. And what you're going to want to do, actually, where's the pick at? You're going to want to pick this area and loosen it up. Loosen the braid so we can get this collet underneath that between, so the PTFE goes inside and the braid goes on the outside of this. But before you do that, put this on. I've forgotten that before. But this is going to take a minute for me to pick it all loose, so we'll be right back. So you get the PTFE slid in just like that. I hope you remembered to put that on first. Then we put this into here. Push it straight in like that. You can slide that over. And make sure you're holding pressure on it. And you get it tightened up like that, and you've made an AN line. Simple as that. So there's the fitting right there. A little bit of slack. It's just pushed down there by the fuel tank. Ran in the same place as the old ones. I'll have it zip tied off to the side. I'm gonna bring it over, and I'm gonna go with this regulator roughly right here. There's a hole. I'm gonna make a bracket too with the 3D printer. Mount it right there and go into here. This will be the return, and I'll just have it hug and go down the same way. And this fitting right over here, this one is going to go over to the fuel inlet side on the rail. Alright, so what I've done here is I got a little hose connector here. I got an AN line, an elbow I pretty much cut apart. Put the hose over it so that can go up to the top, to the out, to the feed. That's the return. Return's just right there. I'll just put the bucket together, put a couple hose clamps on this, and it's back in the car. Alright, so hose clamp, got the wiring and my adapter that I made. If anybody needs the color orientation, blue is the hot, black is the ground. So I'll get that connected and put that together. Alright, so there it is. That goes up into the hat area, comes around into the feed. So I got your feed port here, the return right there. See that hole kind of up there? There it is. So that's all she wrote. Should be good. All right, so fuel pressure regulator is gonna go right up there. Got the hose ready. And I got this little bracket back here. And I'm probably gonna end this video on this and do the rest of the fuel system later, but 3D printing. Designed this bracket to bolt right up there into that spot. And the regulator is gonna bolt right to those two holes. Up out of the corner, nice and neat. Almost factory looking. Carbon fiber polycarbonate. All right, guys. Bye.